Hi everyone, I'm back. So Monday seems to be working for me, so I'm gonna try to keep this up and get with you all every Monday. I've got your reading as usual. I got Enchanted Map Deck, Keepers of the Light, Romance Angels, Journey of Love deck, and I have a healing deck that I love. So we're gonna get started. Our first card is a reversal, Golden Palace in reverse. This card is asking you to reevaluate your idea of and relationship to security. You might have been feeling knocked off your feet a little bit, finance wise. Maybe you taken a loss, maybe something that was a long held dream or something that you expected to come into fruition dissolved away. But regardless of the actual physical circumstance of it, it's security related. And you might be feeling a loss of security. So you want to ground yourself and analyze what it really means to you, and if the things that you lost or the things that you stand to lose is really jeopardizing security for real, or is it all in your mind? Is this a concept of security that you just built because it sounded right or it was right for you before and it may not be the case now? So analyze that. Next card we got is Goblins. You might be engaging in going too hard on yourself. Negative self-talk, saying things about yourself that are not serving you, that are not uplifting. You might be feeling bad about yourself. Listen, no one is perfect. We all have flaws and things that we need to work on. Even those of you who are on a spiritual journey, just being on a spiritual journey does not mean everything is going to be perfect. In my case, it means we're trying every day to shift, change, improve, feeling very deeply. But a lot of us get into a place as well where we go too hard on ourselves. We have to work every day to practice loving kindness with ourselves so that we can also extend that into others. So if you are feeling really badly about yourself and are finding yourself saying negative things about yourself or what you're doing or not doing, open up your gratitude journal. Pick it up, find some things, even small things that you are grateful for, and go from there. It's very important to monitor what we say to ourselves, and it's very important to affirm ourselves. So are you affirming yourself? Think about that. I got the Wizard of Awareness card in reverse. This card is asking you to not be held to one particular outcome. There is something you are holding on to, something you want so bad, and you can't really see beyond it. Or you want something so bad and you're stressing over it so much that you are unable to focus or create a clear plan. So in these instances, it's like you've got to pay attention to yourself. You also have to meditate so that you can have some clarity, so that you can actually see signs that you may have been missing because you're stressing over a thing. You are having tunnel vision right now. That's what it is. It's tunnel vision. And you're missing everything going on outside of you. So take a step back. Take a step back, let things unfold, avoid trying to control everything in your life. Do what you can. Identify what you can control and what you can't. That's a first step that you can do. But it's important to remain a neutral observer into what's happening outside of ourselves, because we can't control everything going on around outside of us. So it's about identifying what we can manage and what we can't, and moving accordingly and not being held to one specific way. I know you're probably tired of hearing me say this, but this keeps coming up over and over and over again. Okay? Next card. What we got here? And Mercury was back. We got Mercury last week too. just signaling that lines of communication were about to open back up. And look, here we are. It is March 9th and Mercury retrograde is over, although the shadow period is going to go on for a few more weeks. So it won't be perfect, but at least things might start being in motion. You might see some more stability in a lot of the things that seemed out of control over the past several weeks. So if you were super bothered by this, hopefully you'll be feeling some relief soon, in the coming days. But open up the lines of communication. If you got something to say, get it out there. Be gentle, because remember, you're being gentle with yourself in the words you're saying to you. Be gentle to others in the words they say to them. And try to don't take things too seriously. That's all I can say. Don't take things seriously. Not everybody is out to get you, attack you. Not everything is, a deliberate attempt to be rude or disrespectful. Just ease up a little bit, okay? All right, here we go. Love yourself first from the romance deck. Whatever you've got going on right now, if you're wondering about a relationship, if you're wondering about the next steps in your life, it's important to prioritize your love and self-care for yourself before you can get to anything else. You want to talk about worried about security. This is what security looks like. Loving yourself first. Okay? So if this means taking a step back, turning into a hermit, not communicating as much, being a little more quiet, do it. Go for it. Are you meeting the commitments that you have made to yourself? Are you meeting the promises? Are you keeping them? Are you keeping the promises that you've made to yourself? Those are things related to self-love. Because you might feel isolated and maybe ostracized right now, especially with the lack of communication or like communication mishaps that we've been having over the past few weeks. You might be feeling some detachment. So focus on your self-love and you pour into you, and you'll see that the universe will respond in kind. Now we got the love deck. This is the blood dance. You might be feeling cut off. You might feel like you've been left alone and you're in a void. Just know that I'd say just because you may not be able to feel your pulse as strongly as your heartbeat, you're still alive, you're still connected. I guess that's the best way I can put it. The subtlety of our pulse versus the beating of our heart. You are still connected. Even if you feel like you're in a void. If you feel like you're in a void, spend some time reflecting, meditating, getting into nature, being alone, connecting to the things that you love to do or used to love to do. Something that you haven't picked up in a long time, a hobby, a sport, a book you've been putting off, maybe meeting up with a few people who you haven't seen in a while. Whatever you need to do to help you feel connected. For some of us, it's being alone. For some of us, it's being around others, but you have to be careful. If your way to feel connected is being around others, that's valid unless being around others is a cover for the quiet time with yourself. So you really have to be the one to make that distinction. So if you're feeling like you're in a void, sit still, listen to what your heart is saying. Now we got healing deck, forward movement. Whatever is going on, there's going to be a shift. There's going to be some forward motion. And I feel good that there's going to be some forward motion because retrograde is wrapping up. So things might start moving a little more freely than they have been. So just be patient. Let spirit lead. Trust your intuition and your guidance. But remember, in order to recognize your intuition, you got to know yourself. So you've got to sit with yourself. Don't avoid it. Okay? If you're feeling insecure about anything, work to ground yourself. Stop. Stay still. Breathe. Breathe. Okay? All right. So I got one more card for you. You know, the universe has got your back. So I'm going to pull that one right now and see what we get this week. Okay. And happy spring forward for those of you who are in nearly all of the states in the U.S. Hope I got a card. For everyone else in the world, be safe, wash your hands. Here's what we got. The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. What you think you need. Security. Reassess your connection to security. What you think you need may not be what it is. Let spirit lead. Namaste.